Hello and welcome to the Business Networking Channel hosted by the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm your host, this is Toby Rue, and I'm here talking with our Vice President of the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, Santiago Soto. Santiago is part of the Hispano Chamber Board and has been here with the membership with the board for going on 3 or 4 years now, but is a longtime member and board member starting from the beginning of the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. So he brings a lot of history and a lot of leadership to our board. Santiago, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Toby. Thank you. It's good to be here. You know, you hear about this show. We as a board hear about this show all the time. Now it's nice to be here and actually feel it.
That's right. Well, Santiago has been a part of the board and the leadership of the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. So today, what I'd like for Santiago to have an opportunity to co-host, and he's going to talk a little bit to our members and our audience about the happenings of the Hispano Chamber of Commerce for July and August. Santiago, can you share that with our audience?
Sure. We've got an exciting July and August. Usually they're a little bit more, a little bit busier, but this year we moved, as you know, we moved the golf tournament to September, so that's going to be good. In July, though, however, we have our mix and mingle over at Morrison Supply. And Morrison Supply Room, they've got a beautiful, beautiful supply room, showroom there.
And we've held mix and mingles there before.
Yes, we have.
And this is the new member.
Right, this is the new member. This is the new member. But that doesn't, you know, anybody can come. All members are invited, supporters, the Hispano Chambers all come out and spend some time with us. And we'd really love to have you share some good food. So it's always good. And that's going to be held Thursday, July 21st. 5:30 to 7:30 at the Morrison Showroom, Supply Showroom at 311 Southgate Court. That's right off Amador. And the cost, of course, is free. In August 5th, we've got the Small Business Lending Fair, and that's from 9 to 2 p.m. At the Las Cruces Convention Center. And that's also free and open to the public. This is going to be good because it's one of the very few times that we've got several local bank representatives, business counselors, and business support organizations that are going to help people start new businesses and help them get funding for the existing business.
You know, and for our members out there, you have to understand the Hispano Chamber continues to look for innovative and creative ways to put these things together. Our mission is to support small business. And with this Small Business Lending Fair, to be able to provide a venue to get the local banks involved in some of the higher regional lending institutions and bring small businesses together and talk about how to free up some credit, get some of that capital that's sorely needed when you're trying to expand or continue on your business development, which creates jobs, which continues to build our revenue base, so it's a nice rounded situation.
And Toby, you know as well as I do, as well I'm sure as our members out there, that if we work and keep our economy thriving here locally, it's just going to snowball forward and help all the way through.
And we have so many things that are available here in Las Cruces. I mean, the southern part of the state is continuing to experience a lot of growth.
A lot of growth.
We're continuing to grow internally here within the city limits. And, you know, as the economy continues to wane and move forward and pull back, there's a lot of concern, but I think if we work together, support the local environment, and we continue to see some success.
Yes, and let's not forget that, you know, we do have a border next to us here, and we have to learn how to work with this border economically as well as any other way. So I think that in the long run, we're going to be sitting in a nice place here.
I have to agree.
Yes.
You know, last week we saw the space shuttle do its final launch from the NASA space station, and they did a lot of conversations about where the commercial space flight's going to be occurring, and they really point out in southern New Mexico and Las Cruces and Doña Ana, and I thought that was a national spotlight that's going to also be a point of interest as we continue to grow.
That's correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to get enormous support for our business networking channel, we also want to let you know that if you'd like to have your business or your organization and you'd like to be a part of that, contact our Hispano Chamber Executive Director, Gabe Vasquez, and he'll make it available so that you can come on the show and really talk about things that are important to you or help the business or get your product or things out to our public. And as we move,
it's free.
And it's free.
Right? It's free.
Well, the opportunity's free.
Yes, the
opportunity's free. We want to make sure that the Hispano Chamber is continuing to grow, and we have very strong partners. And today, our guest is one of the partners with the Hispano Chamber, and she is Tara Winter. Tara Winter is the Executive Director of Mesilla Valley Hospice Foundation. And the Mesilla Valley Hospice organization is a very important part of our community. it is a more of a next steps for those of us that are having transitional concerns with some of our seniors and people who have needs that are affecting their health. And today, Tara, we're so glad you're here, and we want to talk about your organization. You're the new executive director of the foundation, and that's no small potatoes there. That's taking on a big piece of the pie.
Big potatoes?
Yes, it's a big potato.
So give us an introduction of what you do and why you do it.
Well, thank you so much to have this opportunity. It's really great. I think the Hispano Chamber is definitely doing a lot for this community, and I thank you for allowing me to come on to the program tonight. As Toby said, I am the executive director for the Mesilla Valley Hospice Foundation. We're a new organization that partners with our Mesilla Valley Hospice. We've been here for about, I would say the organization has been in since 1982, and we started the foundation in 2009. And the foundation is really the philanthropic arm for the organization. Correct. So we actually look at doing all the fundraising, we do management of the endowments, and we are hoping that the foundation continues to grow, that we can support the hospice that will be here for years and years to come.
Now, share with the audience, and I don't think they need any introduction, but share with our audience and our members kind of what the mission of hospice was, and then why there was such a good opportunity to start a foundation, if you know.
Well, the hospice will be celebrating its 30th anniversary next year, which is, I think, it's a wonderful milestone for Las Cruces, New Mexico. So for us, the foundation really kind of spun off because we saw a need to really protect the assets of the organization. We hold the endowments. We have a little over $500,000 in endowments, and we do all of the fundraising for that as well. In years to come, we hope to actually hold the building and the land actually in the foundation, so that's ever protected for the community. Hospice started in 1982. We're a very young movement. Hospice nationwide only started in the 70s. So for the hospice to start here early in the 1980s has a lot to say for little Las Cruces, New Mexico.
The visionary of that area.
Very visionary. Dr. Terry Meyer, who was one of our founders, literally put a little ad in the paper and said, you know, I'm interested in starting a hospice organization. Please come to this meeting. And that's kind of how we started. We take care of individuals throughout all of Doña Ana County, no matter their disease, diagnosis, age, even their financial ability to pay for services. So the foundation supports hospice to make sure that no one's turned away from the ability to pay for services.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of people who, if they've lived in Las Cruces at some point, have been to hospice. And I know that hospice was a tremendous resource and then became a tremendous family support when my parents and grandparents, not my parents, my grandparents had gone through the organization. The staff is wonderful. Thank you guys very much. And the environment makes a difficult situation a little bit more comfortable.
Sure.
And Santiago, you know, that's
it's difficult.
stress is stress, and family's family, but when you can have that environment, so we really want to appreciate
Just taking them, having to deal with taking them somewhere like that, but when you take them someplace like that, and you feel comfortable where you've left them in good hands, that makes a big difference. As you know, that makes a big difference.
And that's something that we're really proud of. As a hospice organization, the foundation really supports people who can stay at home. So a lot of our patients, actually 85% of the hospice patients actually stay in their own home. And when I say their own home, that's anywhere in Doña Ana County. It may be in Hatch, in Chaparral, it may be in Sunland Park, it may be in their RV if that's where they live. So we really support people to stay in their own home, even may it be a nursing home, assisted living. But we also have our La Posada facility. It's the only one in the state of New Mexico, and that's community built. That was built by community dollars. Back in 1994 to about 1995, they did the first $1 million capital campaign that we ever saw, and built a facility. And then 2005, we added on to that facility, and then I had the opportunity to complete a $6.2 million project that finished the campus. And that's really where the foundation started to really come about. So we finished the capital campaign and we saw the need to protect that building forever.
Well, and I know you're very humble in this, but you're an NMSU grad.
I am.
And you have, you know, really excelled in your academic career. But you have also been a part of hospice for a very long time. So I think I'm a little biased because, you know, I'm a Tara Winter fan.
Yeah.
But you would be the right pick. I mean, not only do you know the mission you know the culture, the history, and when they started this organization and asked you to go into its philanthropic arm, you know a lot of people in town. So, you know, being
Sure
that you're
that
an
helps.
MSU grad, you know, we like to go Aggies on that. But tell us kind of what your overall mission and goal is from your foundational point, and how people can be a part of that.
Really, the foundation's goal is to support Mesilla Valley Hospice from time on to till when I'm not there even. So I think really for us, we want to, one, build the endowment. The endowment is very important because that's money in perpetuity for our organization. We support all of the fundraisers. Again, we'll talk a little bit about Men Who Cook, but we have some smaller fundraisers throughout the year. And then I really focus a lot on planned giving, people talking about their estates, talking about leaving a legacy for the family. And there's so many different ways that people can do that. You don't have to have all the money in the world. You can leave a very small gift that will leave a lifetime of a legacy that will be wonderful for ages and ages to come. We have a lot of art donations. We have vehicles. I've had an RV. I've had a boat donated. So there's lots of different ways that people can really give throughout the
And you and I
time.
have had many conversations about this. I mean, the estate plan and the gift giving. One of the things that I find very attractive to your organization is it's very clear, although everybody wants to have all of it, you make a very conservative effort to say, just show us a piece of this estate plan giving, and take those things into consideration. And I like that approach because we're always being, you know, bombarded. I know I get from our university, from our local, you know, religious organizations, from this nonprofit, from, you know, Hispano Chamber, we have a nonprofit on. There's always many areas that are truly pulling at those purse strings, and to have this not in your will, I think is a misdemeanor. So all you members and audience out there, really give Tara a call and really look into what we're trying to, you know, to solve here.
We all might need that service at some point.
That's right. Well, and we will.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing for our organization is that we really like to collaborate with other non-for-profits, maybe even smaller non-for-profits that don't have the ability to have a development officer or an executive director that does fundraising. So we actually partner with a lot of foundations, a lot of other organizations. We allow them to use our grant software, and I'll go out and talk to them about estate planning and stuff as well, because I think it's important. We see a lot of times that, you know, we are partnered with La Costa and La Pignol, other organizations that have been here for a long time, that we can kind of definitely share that mission and share the estate planning with someone who really wants to leave a legacy gift for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the Business Networking Channel talking with the Executive Director of the Mesilla Valley Hospice Foundation, Tara Winter, and we're continuing our conversation with the programs and the opportunities that we can have to support the Mesilla Valley Foundation. This is Toby Ruin. We're going to take a quick break with Santiago Soto, Vice President of the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, and we'll be right back.